Silent Hill F was recently revealed, and let's be real, y'all know that I'm a massive fan of horror games. Silent Hill is, of course, one of my all-time favorites. It's not as good as Resident Evil, but, we love it, even if Konami been on some bogus the last 15 years or so. But there's been a bit of a controversy, because when isn't there controversies about video games these days, and this comes from their disclaimer. So welcome back to Words Paradise. I'm your host, Leon Idle, and there seems to be two schools of thoughts around this disclaimer. Now, first of all, if you haven't seen this, it reads, game may contain content not appropriate for all ages or may not be appropriate for viewing at work. The game contains depictions of gender discrimination, child abuse, bullying, drug-induced hallucinations, torture, and graphic violence. Every single one of those things is awesome. The game is set in Japan in the 1960s and contains depictions based on customs of the culture at the time. These depictions do not reflect the opinions or values of the developers or of any individuals involved. If you feel uncomfortable at any point while playing, please take a break from playing or speak to someone you trust. And, yeah, all that reads for this is gonna be a dope horror game. At least I really hope so. None of that Silent Hill 2 remake bogus where the developers straight up came out and said we're toning down the horror from the original. Yeah, because that's literally the whole reason I did not buy Silent Hill 2. What's the point in toning down Silent Hill? It's Silent Goddamn Hill. That being said, folks are a bit divided on this, and I am as well. I can completely understand both sides of the argument. So, we got Savvy here. Savvy usually has pretty good takes. This one is sort of good. Also, I disagree with it. It's interesting. Fiction doesn't need a warning like this, and it's pathetic that there's even a slight percent of the population who do think it's a good idea. I love Silent Hill, but if they're going to force them to do something like this, it pains me. I'm not rewarding that behavior. Anyone who buys it, I hope you have fun and it's amazing, but my money will not be going to rewarding this behavior. And, yeah, I very much agree with a lot of what she's saying here. But the other school of thought is, this is a brain-dead argument, and I don't understand why anyone argues this. They're just words. They can't hurt you, bitch. I also agree with that. They are just words. They can't hurt. Like, I'm trying to really parse through my thoughts on this one, because they are just words. So, who cares? As long as the actual product of itself, as long as the actual game itself, does not have any modernity or any of this trigger warning this or that or whatever in it, yeah, who cares? However, there's a mindset about this. Whenever they do these sorts of, disclaimers, oh, this could be dangerous for your mental health or whatnot, it's still a way of sort of softballing the fact that, yeah, this is fiction. I mean, Savvy is entirely correct. Why do we have to worry about, these companies coming in and pushing this narrative of like, hey, all right, we'll give you what you want, gamers. We'll stop trying to soften things, and we'll give you the nice, harsh, evil, the game that you want with all the blood and gore and tits, whatever it may be. But you got to meet us in the middle so that we have this disclaimer out there. And why? Like, no other Silent Hill game needed this disclaimer, sort of. I mean, Resident Evil has always had a little pop-up right before the game started that stated, this game, warning, this game contains scenes of explicit violence and gore. Now, I wonder how much of that is, like, mandatory because of the ESRB, or is that just Capcom, putting that in there because, hey, the game contains scenes of explicit violence and gore. But was it done for an ideological purpose? And that's what these words seem to be. They're there to almost say, almost as a shield against the people that would bitch and moan and cry and complain, which is inevitably going to happen anyway. Like, you can have all the disclaimers in the world, but even if it says, hey, this contains child abuse, drug-induced hallucinations, gender discrimination, the people that, get so upsetty spaghetti over that stuff on X that we're never going to buy the game anyway, they're not going to care if you put this disclaimer out here. They're going to throw a bitch fit anyway, and again, never would have bought the game. I actually don't see this disclaimer as helping sell the game. I don't. But is it worth being upset about? I don't think it would be if it was an isolated incident. But it's not. And again, I think the intention matters. Now, is it enough to keep you from buying the game? I mean, it is for Savvy, and I won't lie, I think that's a bit much. This has kind of been the way the game's been going for a while. We've seen a lot of disclaimers. I'm pretty sure that even the Tomb Raider Remastered Collection put out like a disclaimer like this. It sold a bunch. So, yeah, this is not going to keep me from playing the game like it does her. She says we're rewarding this behavior. again, they were going to do this anyway. Games have been doing this for a while now. It's interesting. Like, I really do find it concerning that these sort of trigger labels for fiction are needed. And we should push back against that, and we should fight back against that, because we should get back to the sense of normalcy of, yo, we're all fucking adults. We should be treated as adults, which means this bullshit don't need to be there. Especially when it says, if you feel uncomfortable at any point while playing, take a break, speak to someone you trust. Like, I'm sorry, that's insane. That's stupid. You could just done the simple thing that movies do at the beginning, like, or Law and Order or whatever. These are purely fictional events. Anything, similar to what happened in real life, or, by pure happenstance, or whatever. Just something like that. This is almost like this is too coddling. So, yeah, when Wargaming Dad says they're words that can't hurt you, now, the words aren't what's hurting, and I don't think anybody is trying to make that claim. It's the idea that we've gotten so soft as a people, or as a populace, we're being treated with kid gloves, because so many adults were hurt by words, and they did get triggered, and they did throw these bitch fits on the internet and go out and, now, oh man, Elon Musk said my heart goes out to everybody, and now he's a Nazi, and they're out burning down fucking car dealerships. Like, people have become so weak in the modern times that when you see these words, these disclaimers, coddling even further, it only is kind of emboldens the moving in that direction as a society. So, I get both points. We shouldn't take the word seriously, but also, I don't think not buying the game, that's not going to send the message that it was because of the disclaimer. I really don't. Buy the game, do the review of it, and in your review, say that, hey, I have an issue with this, and if enough people do that, maybe these companies will learn in the future. Again, or maybe it's an ESRB thing. I mean, I can't rule that out. I'm not going to pretend to know too terribly much about how the ESRB works. I just know that it's bullshit, because any sort of rating system is bullshit. I couldn't buy rated M games without my fucking dad being there when I was 12 years old. He gave me the goddamn money. Anyway, that's not the point. The point is, the overall larger message of the softballing of language, which in turns, the softballing of us as a populace, is concerning. The words do matter. The words might not hurt. Words can't hurt you, but the words do matter. They're being done for a reason. And I agree with Savvy in that it's being done for the wrong reasons. It's being done for nefarious reasons. Or at the very least, it's being done for cowardly reasons, because they're so afraid of pushback from this ideological driven mob. I'm still going to buy the game. I don't think that not buying the game will send a message. I mean, it could send the message of, oh, horror games are dying, so we're not going to invest money into those anymore, and instead we're going to pump out more, flavor of the week, like Fortnite style slop, or what are those, like live service games or whatever, or more multiplayer games. When really, if this game has everything in it that they say it's going to have in it, I mean, especially that the depictions of gender supremacy from what I assume is going to be, there's going to be some dudes talking shit on women. Good. I love seeing that shit in games. Bring it back. Bring back that toxicity or whatnot. It's funny. It's fun. It's fiction. It's just a game. Who gives a shit? Like, we don't need to treat the world like that fucking Gillette commercial from a few years ago or whatever. So, yeah, I would much rather just send the message of, we want more games like this. But maybe lay off that heavy-handed, pandering, cowardly disclaimer bullshit, because it's just cringe, and it's definitely not endearing you to the folks. There are going to be people out there that don't buy the game because of it, and you did that to yourselves by acknowledging these losers and freaks who throw a fit on the internet and weren't going to buy the game anyway. But these are just my opinions. Let me know yours in the comments down below, or let me know on X, where you can find me at Bolt the Word. And please do subscribe. I'm a nerdy news channel. I cover nerdy news nearly every day. Not always about video games, but anime, movies, music, Magic the Gathering, you name it. Check me out on Instagram at wordsparadise_Leon, and become a member for $4.99 a month. You can join the Discord, choose the articles we go over on a day-to-day basis, choose the videos I react to on my Friday night live streams, and of course, get involved with over 160 other vital idols. We are a bright, beautiful, glowing, vibrant community that I cannot wait to grow even further, because we do care about diversity. Only one kind of diversity of thought. If that's interesting to you, join the Discord, hit subscribe, and until next time, it is all here in the Nerdosphere. This has been Words of Paradise.